Yeah.
I mean, I don't
Yeah.
know. It's so where you think is gonna go from here? Like what's next? Like I hear you talk a lot about like what are we asking for and not making sure that we just kind of come into it with the emotion and the energy,
Right.
but there's something that we are actually, wanting to see done differently that,
Yeah.
that can
Yeah.
be measured and
Right.
looked at as evidence that this is being done differently now.
Right. We need proof of change. We need
Yeah.
we need something that can be documented in history that will hold police officers accountable. We need something that's documented in history that break chains of systemic racism. We need something to be documented in history that gives the Black community a fair chance at life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. Not just talking about it, not just saying, well, we put it in the Constitution. Don't it apply to everybody? Everybody
Mhm.
can live the American dream. Well, we know that
Yeah.
that's not the case. We
Yeah.
know
Yeah.
that the numbers don't lie.
Yeah.
And we don't necessarily want to be seen as token Blacks. We don't necessarily want your handouts or your affirmative action plans. We want real legit change and opportunity that is granted to everybody. So if an immigrant can come into this country and get 7 years tax-free to start a business and to flourish and to become something and build generational wealth, and then change that company's name when the next family member come over, put it in the LLC and pass it on, then why can't we do it? So we want real change. If you spread our wealth and gave land after slavery, you gave land to white American.
Mhm.
Give us
Mhm.
land, we'll build our own.
Mhm.
So we want something tangible, something that will actually allow us to build generational wealth, to police our own, to address our own, to raise our own, teach our own, and we can rock this thing out. Because I think what the problem is they only want to, and when I say they, I'm speaking on white nationalists, I'm speaking on government, I'm speaking about those that's in power and principalities.
Mhm.
They only want to deal with us to the extent that they need us.
Yeah.
And I think that's where the problem is. So you can do away with us like cattle or property when we have accomplished whatever goal it is that you have in mind, like working at your low wage job for $9 to $10 an hour, and then you expect us to sustain a family with that when you can go home with $3 million a year.
Yeah. Before I forget, and listeners out there, everybody listening, like they chime in, email us, drop some comments in the feed, whatever. But it's like I hear the frustration, like and I hear the frustration in your voice. I hear the anger, and it's like that's one of the
I
things that
sound angry.
I mean not angry like uncontrollable anger. I mean righteous anger, righteous indignation, angry at
Oh
what you see
yeah,
what's going on. You know what I mean?
yeah, yeah.
And so that's one of the things that I feel like they don't really be understanding is something that can't be, I guess, measured in all of the health statistic numbers. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Stress,
Stress.
anxiety, depression, anger, paranoia,
Yeah.
panic attacks, all of that stuff,
Frustration.
restlessness, frustration,
Yeah.
the
Weary
thing,
nights,
weariness,
uneasiness,
the different things we do to
confusion,
confusion,
disbelief.
the different things we
Yeah.
do to cope with the stress. And so it's like one thing that you heard, one thing that I heard you say that I'm like of that same mindset, but I'm just a little different in the sense that I don't think that can be something that can be ac- accomplished here. And that is when you talk about like, even if you look at it from a reparations standpoint, giving us like, I don't know, I'm just hypothetically like give us Florida, South Carolina, Georgia, Mississippi, Alabama, give us the Southeast or whatever. and y'all take everything else.
Right. Nah.
Is that ever, are they really ever going to do something like that where they give us enough land via some treaty or some act,
right,
where we have enough land to basically, what you're talking about is creating all of the things, all of the systems of life basically. Neela Fuller
right,
Jr. calls it the 9 areas of people activity: labor, politics, sex education, healthcare, all of that, like all of the things economics, all of the things that we would need of ourselves to
right,
sustain ourselves. And let's do it
right.
ourselves. Like, we don't need y'all for it no more. We're gonna do it ourselves. Like, I just don't see how we can come to that in here, like
In the land of captivity.
in the land of our captivity. I personally don't see how that can happen without without accelerated greater conflict. I'll call you said war. You said war. I said greater conflict, maximum conflict, like maximum whatever. I just don't see them coming to the table one day and signing some treaty like, yeah, we're gonna give y'all 33% of the country. Y'all set up posts here. Y'all set up y'all own electric grids and schools and hospitals and everything y'all need, grocery stores and housing. And
right,
we good.
right. No, I mean, I agree with that point. It is not written that way either, that it will happen that way. So I get that point. That is something that seems outlandish, as simple as it seems. It's complex in the eyes of people who are built on oppression. To acknowledge that they give us anything is to acknowledge that they were wrong in the first place. And is that really gonna happen?
Yeah. That part.
Is that really gonna happen? Not to get off topic, but Roe versus Wade. It was a white woman's idea to make abortion and separate it from state, right? Yeah. But now you see all these signs. Now you see all these signs in our community as if it was our idea, Planned Parenthood and abortion. Now it has become our problem. Oh, and if you do it, it's murder. Wait, so what happened when Becky wanted it?
Exactly.
But that's my whole point, to say that when something happens that they disagree with, something that they feel like is out of line or out of agreement with their policy, their regulations, they kind of trample upon the less fortunate and then make it our problem, make it our situation. Just like now, look at the protesting that's going on. Look at the looting that's going on. Is it really all Blacks that's doing that? Is this now our problem because we're angry, frustrated, and hurt and disappointed with the country that continued to fail us? Because now you lose sight of that, which was the real problem at hand, and make it about violent protesters and make it about people looting and stealing and robbing and damaging property. So life wasn't more important than Target being open. You saying that protests are supposed to be peaceful. Well, so is an arrest.
Yeah. An arrest is not supposed to be a life or death type of transaction. An arrest is not supposed to be a life or death process, especially when you already got somebody handcuffed and they're under your submission. You have them. They are subdued. They are subjugated to you. They can't do anything. They are not posing a threat to you or any civilians. An arrest is not supposed to be like that. And so, man,